Is there something physical that's like a make or break for you? Because I have one, and it's weird.
It's weird.
Should I say it after?
Go for it. We're here already, Cori. So.
Oh gosh, no, because I don't want everybody to be like, "That's weird."
Is it like 6 toes or something? Like what?
Now mine is
Nailed
a
it.
height.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, how did I know? All right, so Nikki's is a height.
Have to have 6 toes.
So.
Good luck. No wonder you're still single, right?
There's more than you think.
Cori's like, that date went really well. Take off your shoes.
I need feet pics. I will pay you $5.
Let's count them. It's time to count the piggies.
Wait, what do I do with this extra piggy? What did he do? The song did nothing about 6 piggies.
I just said something so stupid.
All right, so let's give Cori a moment to compose herself. Welcome back to the Dangerous Faith podcast, and with me I have a couple dear friends, Nikki and Cori, and today we will talk about the dating scene, the dating pool, dating stories, and I'm sure we'll have a good time doing it. And you may or may not be, depending on your life situation. You might recall your dating days, or maybe you are right in it and you're trying to figure things out as well. And I think we'll just have a good time talking about all this stuff, relationship stuff, and maybe from a Christian perspective. But anyways, ladies, Cori, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Nikki?
Peachy keen.
Peachy keen.
Peachy keen.
I like
Favorite color.
I did not know that.
What color is keen, though? Like, peachy? What color is keen?
It's just an accent.
Okay.
It's like the little scallops on the edge of it. Okay.
I feel that.
We're going to have a blast. Now, all right, so in a few words that will probably become a whole episode, but how would y'all describe the dating pool out there? Any honest opinions?
Terrible?
I mean, there's good and there's bad.
There's good and there's bad.
Mostly bad.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there. And
Hold on, but some would say that's a positive, a lot of people out there.
Yeah, but
there are not a lot of good people with good qualities.
Well, and also, like, whenever you have too many options.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, I think it's easier for people to not commit to, like, a certain one person after you've narrowed it down.
Is it like to wait to see if there's something better out there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like, the grass is always greener, but it's actually not. It's usually brown.
The grass is usually brown.
On the other side, yeah.
We'll make that into...
Especially if you have something
well-watered.
good. Yeah, especially if you have something, like, good right in front of you, Like, if somebody's like, no, you're great. I think you're a great person. You're a good mom. And you're just like, and they're like, but I'm going to, go do this, or like, see what's out there. And then you're like, but you just told me all of that. So, you know what I mean?
I think sometimes they say it just to make you feel good and not like, instead of just like completely letting you down. Well, I mean, and they very well could,
Okay.
But it's also one of those things, I feel like sometimes they're just saying it to be nice and
it's like
to let you down slowly and easily and not just be like, I think you suck.
Right.
And they're just trying to find a gentle way to put it down instead of like ghosting you, like what happens to me a lot.
Oh, yeah, but they come back.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Not always.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying a lot of options, but that can actually work against you because people are just, I guess, looking around and stuff like that. So
there's just too many options sometimes, and especially for people that are like already not looking for commitment. And I think it just like is a easy way to like for cheating or, just not committing at all. playing games with people.
Now, see, I haven't ran into that. Like, in the past years of me dating, like, I've like, it's always been serious, you know? Like,
Really?
yes, like, I haven't had, you know.
That's not my experience at
Yes,
all.
because, like, you know, it's been one of those that, you know, the ones that I have dated, it's been serious, you know, like, pretty much from the get-go. Like, we said that, you know, we weren't talking to anybody else, and that's, you know, how it stayed until it didn't.
Until it didn't, yeah.
And then it was one of those, like, we just decided, or they ghosted me, that it just wasn't going to work.
Oh, gosh, it was serious and then the ghosting?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I guess from y'all's experience, I hear two different sides. So Cori, you're saying maybe things are shallow. It's harder to get maybe deeper commitment. A lot of options out there. Nikki, you're saying there's commitment there right away until there's not.
Right.
And then they're out.
Or I think what I have experienced is they get comfortable with you and they let their guard down and you see exactly who they are because they put on all their P's and Q's at the beginning of the relationship. And then it's like you see exactly who they are and you're just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this for the rest of my life.
You got to cross that at some point, right? Because, like,
Yes.
you know, when you're first dating, you're only showing the best of yourself. So you're like, when is it going to come out?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And, you know, it's one of those, like, you, and
I can know that from that other person, too. I'm like, well, they're only showing me their best selves. This is not always who they are. And that is really trippy to think about. It's like, I don't know this person.
right.
I don't know anything about them, like, other than what they tell me.
Right. And it's one of those that I've gotten better about it, but I was really bad at the beginning just to, like, let it all out, and then they use that against you later down the road.
Yeah. I mean, like,
And so I've gotten to where I only allow little things here and there to come out versus
Good
it
girl.
all at
Yeah.
the front,
Yeah.
you know, so they can't use it against me
yeah.
weeks down
'Cause
the road.
I've done that, too, but it was just because, you know, what happened in your last relationship? Are you still, you know, on good terms with your son's dad? And, like, all these questions where it was like I was spilling all the time to where I just got tired of saying it. Because I'm just like, this is actually information that you don't need to know right now.
Right.
Because I don't know you.
Right.
And, yeah. So I've, like, for different reasons, I stopped telling as much.
It's interesting because as you go deeper into a relationship, there's that opening up that you know needs to happen. But if you do it too soon, they can come back and bite you.
Yeah,
yes.
like she was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't really run into that, but there was a lot of spillage.
Understood.
Sometimes that happens.
It does happen. Now, what are y'all's thoughts on dating apps? Do they help things? Do they hurt things? Make things easier, worse? I'll just let that go and y'all tell me what you think there.
Okay. I want to hear what you have to say first.
Okay, so
Because
it's one of those. I have done several dating apps.
Which ones?
I've done Bumble, I've done Match, and I did Facebook dating.
okay.
And it does help to broaden the fishing pool, per se. That was air quotes, not that y'all could see it, but there was air quotes to that fishing pool. Because, like, we live in Coleman, and yes, Coleman is growing, but Coleman is also still very small for certain groups of, like, singles that you're looking for.
Did you match for people in Coleman?
I did, like, a 50 or 60 mile radius, but there was, like, hardly anybody around my age in Coleman that
Yeah, I don't match anybody in Coleman.
So, but, like, around my age, per se, there wasn't very many in Coleman itself that were on dating apps.
I think I'm on like 100-mile radius.
That's hilarious. But I have came across several narcissists on dating apps. And I've caught them in lies and
Fun.
yes. And, like, we're talking, like, screenshotted what they did and sent it back to them, and they still were calling me out about what I called them out about. And I was just like, no, that's not how that works. Like,
Nikki, do you know and love the term gaslighting?
oh, it's
I was
evil.
thinking about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, some people
Yes.
hate it or some people,
Yes. So it's I
the
have
term itself. Are you talking about the
Yes.
term itself? Okay.
Yeah.
Not the actual, process of it.
I'm not saying Nikki's gaslighting people.
Well, no, she was, okay, in that moment, she was being gaslit.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought
Yes.
you were maybe talking about the actual term because, it's overused or something.
No.
Okay.
But no, I have hung up the dating apps because they have honestly gotten me absolutely nowhere in the whole dating world. It's great comic relief. Like, I have laughed so incredibly hard at
Same.
some of the profiles.
Let's talk about that in a moment. So keep on with
Okay.
what you're saying, but we're going to go back to creating dating profiles in a moment. But
And it's just one of those, it is good to see, a broad spectrum of guys out there because, like I said, Coleman's very small. I haven't came across just a ton of single people around my age or older, so that is just a good way to see outside of your normal swimming pool, fishing pool, fishing hole.
Kiddie pool.
Yes, it's like my dad, we have this running joke where he said there's plenty of fish in the sea, and I said, yes, Dad, but I live in a pond and there's no fish in the pond.
That's true.
So
Where we are.
I'm done with dating apps because they can paint a really pretty picture on a dating app and then it's not who they are at all.
that's true. So
Definitely.
Nikki is done. She is
Done.
out with the dating apps.
Stick a fork in me with those things.
Now, Cori, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so the dating apps itself, just the concept of it. So whoever thought about this thought about making this app because it's like window shopping for potential boyfriend girlfriends, and that to me, whenever you really think about it, I'm like, that's bizarre. Why are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you're just window shopping for people.
But you also, it's like I tell people, there has to be that sort of physical attraction.
Definitely.
So it helps. So whenever I was on the dating app, obviously there was more lefts.
Could I go on a blind date?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, been there twice. We'll never do it again. There was more lefts than there were rights, but it was one of those, if I swiped right, it was because I found them attractive and then I scrolled through their profile and read their profile and went that way.
So it's all based on, yes, and also about, because that's going to be your first impression. Mm-hmm. And
it'll be no different than somebody walking down the street and you're like, oh, well, they're cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same concept. You're just seeing it on your phone versus in person.
That's true.
So that's how I saw it. It was no different than walking in an airport.
Mine was a little bit more the other way. But okay, so depending on their profile, depends on whichever way I swipe. And honestly, I can't remember which swipe is what way, so I have to just press the button. You know what I mean? Like the heart or the X, because I can never remember. But yeah, I have a list of things that's on their profile that I'm absolutely
Yeah, you can
not.
filter too, which was very nice.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Let's talk about that a little bit. As you're going through dating profiles, what were some nope, automatic things you'd see or phrases, or what kind of things would set you off and be like, nope, I'm not going to be a match for that person?
Automatically for me was if they had on a baseball cap and sunglasses. I'm like, I can't see anything about you. No, how can I tell anything by what you look like with a baseball cap and sunglasses on?
But for me, yes. But also, okay, so for me, it depends on what kind of hat. It depends on what's on the hat, right? So, and I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody. It's just not my thing, okay? It's just not my thing whenever I see
We're
this.
just talking real life. Go ahead.
Like a Hurley hat. You're out of here.
Hurley hats are a no-go for Cori.
Out of here. Out of
And
here.
I don't like straight bills either.
Just because, yeah. And yeah. Because you're But anyways,
You're what, Cori?
I'm just like, don't make me say it.
No, you're not.
Don't make me
All
say
right,
it.
so
You're a skater boy.
hats and
Like you're just too old for that. You know what I mean?
Sunglasses.
Grown up. But
anything else?
heavily contrasted filters. Too many references to Roll Tide. Not because of Alabama itself, but I'm just like, I already know the kind of person that you are. And I don't want to be friends with you, even. You know what I mean?
All right. Understood.
I have a list. Let's see. But okay, so so your question about dating apps, like the app in general. Oh, and bodybuilders, absolutely not. Too many gym photos. You're out of here. You know. Oh, and so like the app itself, because I was on. All right, y'all have to remember, I didn't start dating until like my mid to late 20s.
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I got married 2 weeks before I turned 28, and I dated a year before that. So, yeah. I was 27.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot that you were. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Speaking of which, shameless plug, Nikki and I have a prior episode where we talked about things, so I can go put that in the description for you to find, where we talk about some of that, those past events. But continue, Cori.
So the apps itself, so like, I was on, whenever I first started dating, like after, it took me 3 years after the breakup with my son's dad to even consider it. And so I'm already like 31 by this time. And so I get on Tinder. Didn't know that has a stigma around it. But it's okay because I was kicked off of it because I didn't like enough people. They were like, "We have terminated you
Is that
from
a thing?
this." Yes.
Stop it. I did not know that
They banned
could do
me.
that.
Yeah.
So basically,
I didn't
okay,
like enough people, so they were like, "You got to get
you
off
didn't
this
play
app."
the game.
Right.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you could get kicked off.
Yeah, I have the screenshot from it. It's like way deep in my phone. I could find it at some point. But yeah, they were like, "You're not allowed to be on here anymore because you don't have enough you're not liking enough people."
Now, I would, like, whenever I was on Bumble, I would run out of bees a lot. That's what I called them.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
Oh,
so,
like they're your bees?
You know, because they were in my beehive. You know, like if they liked me, they would go to the beehive.
That is so funny.
So I called them bees, and then like I was constantly running out because
funny.
I was just like,
You know why I don't ever get on Bumble? It's because I refuse to message first.
well, that's the reason I liked it, was because I had to send the message first because,
I don't like it.
well,
me.
after that they had to message me first. Like
What do you mean?
like if we started talking, so I would send the first message on Bumble, obviously, because that's how it rolls. But then if we started talking anytime after that, I would never message them first again.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that I was done messaging them after the first initial message.
So you're like weeding out
yes,
unnecessary, uncomfortable conversations. Okay. Yeah. So that's the reason why I've never gotten on Bumble.
Well,
But
if you notice, the ones that are on Bumble or on Match or on I think they just kind of
that's
circle.
the thing too. They're all on, like, they're not just
different
on
dating
one.
apps.
They're on
Yes.
multiples. So, I'm on Hinge right now. And apparently, I don't know if that has a stigma to it, but the reason why I liked it more so than the others, and I never did 2 at a time. It was always 1 at a time. It's
Yes,
too much.
Yes,
Too
Mine
much.
was always 1 at a time.
To have multiples. I'm like, I have a life, you know what I mean? Like, I have stuff to do. I can't keep up with it. And then, like, these people are, like, they're going to forget about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, I can't do that. And then, so I'm on that. Oh, what I liked about it was you had to, like, answer prompt questions. So it wasn't just, like, profile pictures or, like, basic questions. Like, it was, like, they were actually pretty good prompt questions, I think. Have you been on that at all?
No, just Match and Bumble, and then the Facebook dating.
Yeah, it's, like, good questions like, what would we do on our first date? And then it just like somewhere I'd like to travel to, like basic stuff like that. But then it had like really silly ones.
Bumble had questions like that.
Do
you could
they?
answer.
And apparently, okay, so I'm on Facebook dating now, and yes, it has the most traffic. I don't know, like, what to call it.
Contestants, we'll call it.
I guess. Yeah, let's not use that other word.
Dating contestants.
Yeah. So, but also, I don't know if you knew about this whenever you were on them, but there's actually groups that you can join that you can share who you're dating to see if anybody else is dating them.
No.
And like people find out that the person they're going on the date with is married, or they have and like a lot of these people too have already done the hard work for you, like background checks and stuff.
Oh wow. No,
Yeah.
that was not a thing whenever I tried it.
And
mine was
it's-
very short lived.
It's entertaining too, actually, to go through just the feed. And there's actually been people that have come across my suggestions or whatever that I saw their post, like something negative before, or like red flags, I guess. And I was able to just like avoid that altogether because of that other group.
Now, quick question.
Yeah.
There may be some of an older generation that are like, y'all just meet people in real life. Like, just go talk to someone around your age, give or take, in real life, and should be easy. Lots of people around.
Yeah.
And to people, what might be a response to that for y'all? Like, just go meet someone.
Okay, so where in Coleman are you going to go meet someone?
Where in Coleman? Okay.
Because I'm not going to go to a bar because that's not how I roll. Like I'm not going to go to a bar and try to pick up somebody or anything. I love St. John's, but there's not single guys in their 30s at St. John's, So that's a little difficult. So that would be like if I wanted to find a churchgoer, that means I'm going to have to leave St. John's, and that makes me real sad to have to leave St. John's,
Yeah, we won't let you.
So
I'm kidnapping you.
he's already said that. Yeah, he's already said I can't leave.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those, and I have been set up by mutual friends, and that was also dumpster fire. So it's just kind of one of those, you hope to meet somebody like very organically, like maybe, because I have jokingly said now, but after this last ghosting episode, that if I meet someone, I'm physically going to have to run into them in Publix, Walmart, Dollar General, or the bank, because that's the only places I go.
All right, Lord, you know what you got to do.
Because, it's just one of those.
It's in your hands now.
Yes, like those are my 4 places I
All
go
of it.
on a regular basis, and that's it. Like I don't go out on Friday nights or Saturday nights. I sit at home, and
Same.
I'm just tired of trying to like put myself out there and everything, and then you get your hopes up because they seem on paper, quote unquote.
Oh, it's like this. Emotions are like this.
Yes, it's like they seem really good. Honey, I got ghosted by a preacher.
What?
Yes.
Hey, Nikki, I think this is story time. Tell us about it.
Oh, story time. So, okay, a friend of mine,
Yay.
set us up. It was her boyfriend's brother.
Her boyfriend's brother. Got it?
Yes. So he had been divorced for about 3 years, had 3 kids, which doesn't bother me that people have kids. I don't have any children. Does not bother me with someone with children. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we, started talking on a Sunday evening or Sunday night, basically, because it was.
Y'all had met.
No, we had not met yet.
Y'all just exchanged numbers.
He sent me a message on Facebook. He sent me a friend request on Facebook and then sent me a message. And we're talking it was like a long message on Facebook. And I was like, wow,
That was his first message?
Yes, that was his first message.
Okay.
So we talked that way and everything. And then we had talked Sunday night into Monday morning. And then around lunch on Monday, he had asked me, would you want to go out, since we've been talking? And I was like, sure. He's like, well, when are you free? Well, I thought the typical Friday, Saturday, date night and everything. He's like, well, I don't have my kids on Monday or Tuesday night. And I was like, okay, perfect. He's like, would it be too quick to go out tonight? And I was like, no greater time than the present, because if this ain't going to work, I need to know, right now, don't get my hopes up. So so we meet and everything. Had a great time that Monday night, Aww. My face hurt from smiling and laughing so much, there was never awkwardness or anything on the date at all.
Love it.
And then come to find out, we actually knew each other from years ago whenever we were both still married, because he came to my house and did some work at my house before.
Oh.
So
that's Coleman for you.
I know, right? Small world. So then we're getting ready to leave Monday night, and he's like, can we do this again? And I was like, sure. He's like, what about tomorrow night? And I said, okay.
Picked you up and dropped you off.
Yes. Well,
would love to see you again.
Monday night we did. Monday
How
night
romantic.
We met. He came to my work and picked me up, because I didn't want him to know where I lived, because at that point we didn't know.
Nikki.
Yes. At that point we didn't know exactly how we knew each other, but we kept saying we both looked familiar.
Yeah.
But we couldn't pinpoint how it was that we knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday night, he comes and gets me from my house, since, he knows who I am and I know who he is.
You figured it out by now.
Yes,
okay.
we put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Got it.
And, we talked on Tuesday. He comes and gets me. We go eat and everything. Had a great time again. Come back to Coleman. We go back to my house and sit and talk. And, he tells me about, things that happened in his marriage. And I tell him things that happened in my marriage and that whole thing. And we didn't get to talk. We were texting. We still talked every day. But, he got his kids, and I told him, I was like, your kids are important, whenever you're free from them, that's whenever you can talk to me. I don't want to take your time away from your kids. That's how I've always been with anybody with children that I've dated.
Yeah.
So Thursday rolls around, and he had said something. Oh, he talked about he needed a charger. So I was
and y'all are talking every day up until
yes,
this Thursday. Okay.
Yes. So I had made mention to him. I was like, well, I could bring you one on Friday. And he never really said, yes, no, don't do it, don't, whatever. Mm-hmm. So then on Friday we're texting, and I had sent him a text message asking him what time he was getting off work that day. And I think it was going to be 6:00. And I said, well, I'll be done at 4:30. I could run this charger up to you and bring you a little prize, because I had went by Dutch's, and plug to Dutch's, great cookies. I went and got some cookies and everything, and I was like, sweet. I could bring it to you.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
I never heard back from him. Ever.
Yeah.
And, it was both with iPhones, so, and he had it, whenever he read the text message.
Oh, he had his red receipts on?
Yes.
How?
Yes, he had his red receipts on. So, so Saturday rolls around, he doesn't read it. Sunday rolls around, he doesn't read it. Monday.
Oh, he hasn't read it?
No, he hasn't read it still. But I know that because whenever we were together, I saw that it does it his text messages pop up where you could read it right there, But
oh, so he already saw it.
But not the whole thing, because it only shows so much in that little bubble. So then, Sunday afternoon, I sent him another text message telling him that, because he had something going on Monday. I told him that I was praying for him and hope that it went well, and be careful going, because he had to go to Tennessee. I was like, be careful going to Tennessee. So Monday rolls around, doesn't respond. Tuesday night, he finally reads the text message at 7:45 and never responded. So I got ghosted by a preacher, y'all.
You didn't respond, did you?
No.
Good.
No, and I never heard back. I never heard from him ever again, and I never sent him a message again.
Nikki, on behalf of preachers, I am deeply disappointed and sorry that this person, that's a shame. And you want to deal honestly and walk honestly, and ghosting does not do that. So anyways, from that, I guess, again, giving preachers a bad name, I'm kind of bitter about that. Be better, do better.
That's right.
But anyways, Cori,
Yeah.
do you have any stories you care to share, or we could just keep on with the questions?
I can Yeah, I mean, I have stories. I can tell y'all. Okay, so how many did you have more good dates or more bad dates, you would say?
Like first dates
Yeah.
or
Yeah. First dates.
so in all honesty, like the ones that I have gone out with ended up like turning into a relationship. So
Literally has never been my experience.
my first bad dates were
Yeah.
my two blind dates that I went on. Like
Okay.
those were my two bad dates.
So I had a handful of good dates, and it was nice. It was just like nice to go out, be like have your dinner paid for, like having conversations. Sometimes it wasn't great conversations, but the worst one is okay. So it is something that
Cori is
happened to me.
collecting herself to tell the story.
Yes. Okay, so, because there's no, like, build up to it, other than, like, I'm driving, I met with this guy on Hinge, right? I remember it was the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm driving to, I'm driving to Huntsville, and I'm like, my, my eye is really itchy,
oh gosh, you got pink eye?
and I was developing pink eye on the way to the first date.
Oh gosh.
And I thought
Oh,
it was an
no.
eyelash or something. Yeah, I know. And like as we're like going through the day, like I'm like rubbing my eye, like all my makeup is off, and like this guy is like still like seems to be into me and stuff.
With one mascara to eye and one not mascara.
I know. And then like through the night, I was telling him, I was like, this is not good. Like I hope it's not this. And he was like, it's not that bad. And I'm like, I look like Quasimodo. This is bad. This is the first time I've ever met you,
And I have pink eye.
I know. I straight up had pink eye on a my first date with this guy, but also my first date getting back into this.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Started out with a bang, right?
Understood. It didn't help you build confidence.
No. And then I'm like, is this what it's going to be like? And then he was, but he ghosted me after that.
It was the pink eye.
I mean, probably, but
No, Nikki,
probably not.
It's the poor character.
Yes, it's definitely the portion.
And like he,
You are victim blaming. I'm just kidding.
and he was like, I'm gonna be so mad if I get pink eye. And like now I'm kind of like, I hope that he did.
I hope you did get pink eye.
Because he was like,
Corey's like, I hope you did get pink.
he was like, because I have contacts. And now I'm just like,
Well, I hope you got a set of glasses, loser.
I hoped they scratched your eye.
Ghosting, I don't understand it.
So
it's
now
just,
I've ghosted too.
oh, Corey.
I know.
So Corey, now we're on
But
the,
looking at me like that.
we're on the other side. So
Okay.
so now you're saying you have
Why?
ghosted. Why? What is?
Well, just overwhelming.
Okay.
Like stuff coming through that I might forget about somebody over here that I was having a conversation with. So it wasn't like I was like, I am going to leave them wondering. And
You weren't trying to devastate people.
right. I'm not like I am trying to mess with your
I'm gonna
self-confidence.
ruin your life.
Yes. Because anybody's life without me in it is already in shambles. No, I'm just kidding. But that is a joke.
So Corey, what you're saying is maybe just busy, have different things going on at once.
But also, like, I can only say that I'm not interested enough for me just to have to leave.
So
The
you let them know,
conversation-
though? Like, you let them know it
Yeah.
was... Oh,
I wouldn't call that ghosting.
That's not ghosting,
That's not
honey.
ghosting.
Okay,
If you
ghosting
told
is
them-
like, I like you, we're like doing this thing, and and then it's
Ghosting-
like, never talk to him again?
Ghosting is not
Okay.
answering a question that you ask someone and, like,
Yeah.
like, having a good time, both of you saying what a good time you both had, and then all of a sudden it's just, you're just gone. Like,
AWOL.
if you...
Well, I've had that too.
If you have...
I may have done that, but I don't know for sure. I mean, it's hard to
Go back and think.
It's hard to go back. I try not to.
Well, yeah, it's not good to live in the past.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I've done it.
But
You know?
if you've told them multiple times that like this isn't gonna work, and they still can't grasp that,
And
then-
this same person, this particular person that I brought up, it was like, I told him I wasn't interested. I thought this is what I wanted to do. And like, it just felt really pushy about it. Like, well, I respect that. Like, I respect what you're saying and like what you want and like stuff like that. And then, and then he was like, but I'm willing to try if you are.
oh gosh,
And I'm like, well, then you don't respect anything that I just said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I can only, like, make it clear so many times in many different ways to the point where I was even like, how many different ways do I need to tell you
he just
that
wasn't
I am
accepting
not
it.
interested?
He wasn't accepting.
There
it.
is nothing here.
Yeah.
And then it was
Understood.
like, and then he was just shocked. And I'm like, you are
Bless.
delusional.
Some people live on the island of delusion, and
Delulu is the Salulu.
Delulu is the Salulu. Yes, some people are delusional. I do understand.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to continue with that? Or
No, I mean, I was just trying to think of other stories. Like, there was this one guy. It was almost too good, where I was like, I don't want to see you again. You know what I mean?
It was so good.
Yeah.
You were like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Well, just because he was like here like for work and stuff. And in hindsight, I see now. Okay, because after dates and stuff like that, like over the next couple of days, do you like replay stuff and you're just like, I didn't catch that until after I thought about it. I do that a lot.
No.
I probably shouldn't. Well, actually, I'm kind of glad I do because I catch things that I did in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking like, oh, he's traveling for work, so he probably has a girlfriend. You know?
Yeah.
But that's not something he would be honest
Right.
about up front to me.
Right.
You know? So I thought about that later. I'm like, I bet he does. And which is really sad. And don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, he was like my type 110%. And I'm like, he's like he was my type. He was beautiful. He was so funny. We had so much fun together. And I'm like, you need to get out of the state because I'm going to fall in love with you and you're going to break my heart. You need to leave now.
And due to his job, he obliged.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
So did you find out if he had a girlfriend or not?
No, I quit talking to him. I deleted him, everything, blocked him because I'm like, I do not need to have anything to do with this man. I know. Is that like self-sabotage in a way?
I don't know. Because, okay, so let's
Like,
say
there's
there's
something
someone
wrong
else
with
that
you.
comes into your life that fits all those descriptions.
Yeah.
Are you automatically going to be like,
Well, and he
I'm
was
not
out
going
of
to go for that?
state. Well, I mean, like, he was out of state. So it's like, even if I wanted it to work.
But if he was in state.
Oh, in state? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay, so that's not self-sabotage because
Okay.
you're saying
You're
if something was
protecting
more,
Okay.
if something's more realistic, you'll go for it.
Yeah.
If it's something's long distance, no.
No.
Okay.
No. And yeah, but that was like, it was just like, oh, darn, you know? But hope he's doing well.
So speaking,
If you're out there listening, I love you. Just kidding.
but are you? Totally not interested. But unless you are, and then let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, just call me and we'll talk about it.
But wait, I gotta unblock your number first.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of that, just you said darn, and sometimes there's a hint of
Just kind of like, man.
yeah. And okay, I've heard we're not going to do blind dates, and we're going to put the dating apps away. Sometimes there can be, I hear like discouragement in the dating area, especially after the beginning of the episode, we described the dating pool so favorably. Now, what would y'all say to others in your situation that are, this gets into maybe a faith element, theological, Bible, wherever you want to go with this, that they're discouraged, that they're like, well, am I worth loving? Am I lovable?
Oh, that's so sad.
Am I worth being in a relationship with, they start to get those self-doubt kind of feelings. So with y'all, what might you say to people who are, maybe they've just had a bad dating experience or whatever. What might y'all say to people in that kind of headspace? Does that make sense?
I mean, I still go through that, and I've been divorced for 7 years now. Yeah, 7 years. Because, you date guys and you think, oh, this is going to work out, this is great. And then their walls come down and you realize you're not who you were whenever we first started dating. Like literally Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know. So it's one of those, I feel like, now this is just me personally, not that I've experienced this, but I feel like whenever the right person comes along, like, you will know, but it's also having to put yourself out there to find that right person. But there's also one thing that I've had to tell myself, and it's one of those, I know people are trying to be so incredibly sweet whenever they say this, but sometimes this doesn't need to get said. Well, you'll find somebody.
Okay.
Because it's one of those, Jesus didn't have anybody. Peter didn't have anybody.
Yeah, it was like, you can't. You can't promise that. You don't know that.
Don't tell me that. Maybe that's not what God has for me. Maybe God does want me to be single for the rest of my life. And that's something that I have to be okay with. So don't get my hopes up and say, well, you'll find somebody.
Maybe not.
What if I don't? What if I sit here and I try, for a decade to find someone?
Can I psychoanalyze that statement a little bit?
Absolutely.
People say that, one, they often mean well.
They do.
But partly it's to almost relieve themselves of the responsibility of walking with you through life.
Yeah.
So, you'll find somebody. It's a way of kind of glib, kind of throwaway comment a little bit, even if people mean well. And you're like, well, what if I don't? And you want people to walk with you and be with you and to develop relationships with you. And it's like almost a way of, I'm not using the right term, but it's almost a way of not dealing with that. So, you'll find somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as you were saying it, because I'm like, people are probably just, if you're in that kind of predicament and you or say something about it, they're probably really uncomfortable. Because they're like,
Trying to say something.
Yeah. Or they're just like, what do you say? Well, first of all, that's not probably the right thing to do, right? We just be a friend and we just be there, if that's something that's really important to you or that you're going through. But going off what you said, actually, because what I even wrote in my notes was using this time in dating as an opportunity to grow closer to God. Because then as you do, because I've even gotten to the point, I think, Nate, I even said something to you one time, because I was just like, I just miss being with God. Because it was like I was putting so much time and focus into messaging back or feeling like I need to get caught up somehow, to where it was cutting into different times where I would be praying, or it would just I don't want to say consumed, because I wasn't consumed by it, but I wasn't putting God first.
Distracted.
Distracted. And I just got to the point where I was just like, I miss God. I miss spending time with Him. I miss you, Jesus. I want to get back to that. And so I had to take a break from it and then build that back up. And going into it, I'm not as invested, and then it's also using that as an opportunity to grow closer with God and asking Him, or staying in prayer with Him about all of these decisions to make, about somebody, or to pray over it, or that kind of thing. And I also ran across this. It was a reel or a video of John Bevere. Do y'all know who that is? No. You know who John Bevere is?
That name sounds super familiar.
So he's an author. I don't know if he was a pastor. I know he's a speaker, or he's spoke at different like big conferences and stuff. And he wrote the book, The Awe of God. So he's talking about like a healthy fear of God and how to walk in that and what it means, what it doesn't mean. But the one thing that stands out to me every time that I hear him talk, or just like even in interviews, is about how much he loves his wife, and like in a very respectful way. You know, like he looks up to her, and you know thinks that she is just the best thing. And it's just kind of like, wow, like you don't really see a lot of that nowadays. And I remember I came across this video, and him and his wife Lisa Bevere, they do this podcast together, and it was just a question. It was like, what would you like not be so worried about in your 20s that you know now type of question? And he was like, I wouldn't be so worried as to who my wife was.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm like, oh, well, you know, that's like a big relief. Like, that's a good way to think about it. But then also it's like, but you can say that.
You can say that
because you found her. You know what I mean? Because you're married and yeah. So it's like, I kind of go back and forth with that and like thinking that way of like, maybe I shouldn't be so worried.
Yeah.
You know, and like growing closer with God. But then also, like if he's like, you know, I don't know. It's just like staying in prayer. Just being, we're still talking about advice, right? Like for others.
Broadly, but
like also just don't be naive.
Yeah.
You know, like use past experiences.
If you see little red flags, those little red flags are always going to be there.
Yeah, like have we not learned our lesson? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, just don't be naive. Use the previous experience as wisdom. And I mean, I've even been in situations where I really wanted to pursue it, but I'm like, this looks a lot like things that I've had in the past that went downhill really quickly. And I actually really like this guy, and I had to just quit talking to him. And because I was like, this is starting to feel familiar, like patterns or, you know, stuff like that, where I'm like,
I had even talked to a guy, I met him on Match, and he had moved here from Reno. And it was one of those, he didn't have it listed like his religion preference or anything. And, you know, he told me that, you know, he wasn't a non-believer, you know, but he just didn't know, you know. So, and the more I got to thinking about that, I was just like, I can't do this. So I had to end things. Because I was like, I don't want my future spouse to be someone that I'm going to have to, you know, like be the one who is leading us, because that's what I look for, is like, I want someone who is not only actively involved in church, but one who actually has a solid foundation with God and has a relationship with him and can help me grow closer to God. You know, and it's just one of those, the more I got to thinking about it, I was like, he's not that person. Like,
it's just not worth it.
No. And it's
just not worth
I'm
finding it out over and
bud.
over and over.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So that's what, you know, you talked about it a little bit earlier, like what you're looking for, you know, like that's one of those deal breakers, you know. It's just like, I thought I could, you know, but like at that point, we hadn't discussed it or anything like that. So I was just like, well, maybe it's there, but and then like one day it just came out and I was like, oh, yeah, this is just not going to work. So.
Yeah. And now on Hinge, there's a option to where it says like Christian atheist or whatever.
Yes. Well, and Match does too, but his wasn't listed.
Okay,
like you can not have that to show.
I mean, they can also say that they're Christian, and they.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not saying that means anything, but that's like, you know, an automatic, like, it's just because there's just like it's just pointless. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just pointless.
I'll take a moment to talk to pastors and church leaders out there. This is why, as church leaders, we have to be really careful to not make single people in our churches feel less than for being single. That sometimes the church is so family oriented, and parts of that are good, that it tells our singles that you are less of a Christian, you are less of a person if you're not with someone. And that's completely not true. So y'all brought it up. You have Peter, Paul, Jesus. I mean, Jesus, that should be example enough. You have famous passages like 1 Corinthians chapter 7, talking about the single life a little bit there. So just pastors, make sure when you're crafting sermons. So for one example, in seminary, I was told when giving sermons, when you preach sermons, you look for analogies and stories. I was told to always be mindful. Don't always choose stories from marriage when you're trying to illustrate a point. So that was just one practical thing. Just vary your illustrations and your stories, and make sure that you treat the single people at your church with the honor and respect that they deserve. And obviously singleness is a gift from God, and you can do incredible things through for the glory of God. And so we want to make sure to emphasize that. So I guess to close out the episode, just something a little bit more lighthearted. Maybe it's lighthearted, I don't know. But when it comes to things that you're looking for, there may be the broad ones like a practicing Christian. Okay. There's also the, you hope they're not, I don't know, physically abusive, right? So some things that you look for, you don't want your partner to be. But outside of the big, obvious attributes, what are some things that may be unique to you that's like, hey, in a future partner, you might look for?
Okay, so this is more emotional.
That's fine.
Like, just the security, the safety.
Secure and safe, yeah.
In the sense that, like, if there's an argument, I'm not walking on eggshells afraid that you're going to leave if I bring something up, because that's been something of mine. So, like, just, like, security.
Communication.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, I guess communication can, like, cover most of that. But yeah, I mean, just because I've had that in previous relationships where it's like, do I even bring this up? Because if I do, are they going to leave? And it's just nice just to know, like, I can bring this to somebody. Just be like, can we talk about that? But knowing that at the end of it, it's still going to be okay.
So I hear patience and a good listener.
Yeah.
You don't want to be scared to have conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to look at my list, and I'm like, I don't even know if I should even say that I have a list.
Well, it's funny. He brings this question up, and I'm sitting here going, I don't have a clue.
Can I tell you?
Like, I really don't. I mean,
is there something physical that's like a make or break for you? Because I have one, and it's weird.
It's weird.
Should I say it after?
Go for it. We're here already, Cori. So.
Oh, gosh, no, because I don't want everybody to be like, that's weird.
Now,
Is it like 6 toes or something? Like what are...
Now mine is
Nailed
a
it.
height.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, how did I know? All right, so Nikki's is a height.
Have to have 6 toes.
So
Good luck. No wonder you're still single, right?
There's more than you think.
Cori's like, that date went really well. Take off your shoes.
I need feet pics. I will pay you $5.
Let's count them. It's time to count the piggies.
Wait, what do I do with this extra piggy? What did he do? The song did nothing about 6 piggies.
I just said something so stupid.
All right, so let's give Cori a moment to compose herself. Nikki, all right, what's your height?
Mine is height, because I am taller for a girl.
How tall are you?
About 5'9".
Okay.
And I have dated guys that I have worn, like, not really heels, but, like something with, like an inch height or so. And, like, whenever whenever I'm taller than you, like, that's a deal breaker for me.
But 6'5", you'd be, like, in the clear.
Oh, absolutely. Like 6'5" would be a solid.
I feel like a lot of women would not turn down 6'5", but anyways. So you're saying height?
Yes,
all right,
like
height
that.
matters.
My make or break.
Okay, Cori has composed
Not
herself.
6 toes.
Barely. It's got to be. They have to have nice hands.
Nice. That is hilarious.
Nice
I know,
hands.
huh?
So define nice hands.
I mean, like, just, but it's only nice hands to me. You know what I mean? Because,
No.
like,
I don't.
Nikki's like, I
we'll
don't know
talk
what
about
that
it
means.
later. But yeah, that's like a make or break for me.
Like calloused hand, like are you talking blue collar work hands? Or are you talking like computer work hands?
Both. Both can be good. It just depends. Y'all would have to have pictures in front of me, and I'd be like, not good. Those are good.
See,
That's
I
not
pick
good.
at my fingers all the time, so that would be a no.
No.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
Your hands don't meet her satisfaction.
I guess so. And I don't have 6 toes.
That's true.
So,
You're out.
There we go. Okay.
Good thing you got Bailey.
Corey, Bailey loves me. I'm very thankful. Corey, it's all about the hands, and Nikki is height. So just things that we think about.
Yeah.
And non-smokers,
Like physical.
like I can't. date
Non-smokers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cannot
No.
date
That's
smoker.
just a
That's
given.
disgusting and expensive.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, there's not a but. I don't know why I said that. But we still love them.
Yes. Yes.
Corey,
A cute little booty's nice.
if you smoke, Corey wants to let you know we'll still love you.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Don't make them feel bad. I used to smoke.
Both my parents smoked, and like I'm allergic to it, so that's the other reason.
I was a cigarette smoker until Griffin was born. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I can't say
Anyway.
that I was.
Any other characteristics that come to mind? I wanted to end the show on a bit of a more lighthearted note.
Yeah.
Anything else comes to mind?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck out there.
Godspeed, yes.
Godspeed.
Just take your time. Don't rush it. That's the major thing.
Take your time. Don't rush.
Yeah, and it's it's not everything.
Have
so,
fun. All the like in the grand scheme of things, just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't take
Good
it so
advice.
serious. Like get to know the person. Don't dive in head over heels right off the bat. Just take your time.
Take your time.
A good 6 to 9 months
Good 6 to 9 months for what?
to really get to know. Like that's when the walls will start coming down, and you'll see.
At first, I was like,
Yeah.
between dates? Like, how slow are we going?
Yes,
That's my kind of pace.
we're going that slow. Our first initial date, and then 6 months later, and then 9 months later, we'll have 3 dates.
We'll have three-
Yes.
All right, Corey and Nikki, thank you for hopping onto the podcast with me. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, it's been
and-
so much fun. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, friends, we'll keep the episodes coming. We release about 1 episode per week here at the Dangerous Faith podcast. Check us out. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I guess it's called X. I prefer Twitter. But anyways, I'll talk with you later.